Here's just a quick Photoshop tutorial about design boards. I'm choosing to do a mood board here, but this is how you'll do each of your design boards, so your trend, mood, or inspiration board. And again, just a quick tutorial about how you're going to use Photoshop. So first and foremost, you need to open your files. When you open Photoshop, you can do this a couple of different ways. You can hit File, Open, and it'll bring you to your images, right? You can hit Command or Control O, and that'll do the same thing. Or you can open Photoshop and you can drag your image into Photoshop and open it that way. So 3 different ways to open images in this system. Now, for the images that you're going to be choosing, typically they're going to be coming from the internet, and this is a great time to think about resolution. So the images or the projects that you'll be turning in over the semester need to be at 300 DPI or 300 pixels per inch? No. It's the 300 resolution, and images that you get from the internet will be at 72. That is standard for images from the internet. So what that means is there's going to be a discrepancy, and I'll show you a couple of different ways to account for that. So I have my image open. You can see my arrow. If I click it up here, these are the other images that I'm going to be using for my mood board. And what we want to do is we want to make a board that we can bring our images into. To do that, I can either go to File, New, or you can hit Control or Command N. And I'm going to make a new page. I'm going to title it Mood Board because it'll help me understand where it is when I start looking for things. And then I want it to be 20 inches wide by 16 inches high, making sure inches is selected from this drop-down menu. And I'll hit Create. And that'll make a new board. From here, I'm going to go back to one of my images. I'm going to select the whole thing. So I can either do, I can go to Control or Command A. So that's going to select the whole thing, and you'll see the selection box appear around. And I can either, hit Edit, Copy, or the hotkey is Control or Command C. I'll go over to my mood board, and I'm going to go Control or Command V. I can do it that way, or I can go into Edit and paste. Now what you'll see is this image is so small compared to this board, and it's small because we went from a 72 DPI image over to a 300 DPI image. So the scaling changes. When we want to transform an image or work with an image in a different resolution to make it bigger, we are going to hit Control or we're going to make sure we're selected here, and you can see the layer selected. And we're going to hit Control or Command T, and that's going to make a box around here. And if I hit this, if I click the corner and drag it, it's going to make it bigger. It's going to scale it. And once I kind of have the gist of the size I want, I'll hit Enter. And it smooths out the image. Now, there's a limit to what it can do because, again, we're playing with resolution here. So since the source image that I had wasn't really a great image, you'll see that pixelation, but for these purposes, it's okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and snag my other images. So Command A, Command C, and then go into my mood board, and then Command V. I'll move this out of the way. Go to my next image. I'm going to save this image for later. Command A, Control C, Control V, move that out of the way. And as y'all are seeing my images, you'll see the mood I'm going for is kind of African mod, it's kind of strong, ancient, images that are prioritizing kind of shine and gold and strength. So that's the mood that I'm going for over here. Get my last image. Boom. All right, so now I have all these images here, and I want to make sure that they make sense for my mood board. And what you'll see is each image is copied over as a different layer. So since I'm on my move tool, which is over here, if I click each image, it'll auto select it as a layer, or I can go over here and select a layer to make sure it's the one that I want to work on. And if you hover over it, you'll see the blue selection box appear around the image. So this image, I'm going to hit Command T. I'm going to transform it. I want to make this bigger. Oops. And I'll hit Enter. It'll smooth out. I'm going to center this image. And let's see, how do I want to do this? I'm going to transform this one, scale it, change its size, hit Enter, smooth it out. Let's see, I think I want this one over here. And transform that. Get larger, a little bit larger. You can see these pink lines that are showing up. These are kind of alignment shortcuts. So they help you if you're laying out stuff. I'm going to transform this one. Make this bigger. Enter. Transform this guy here. I'm going to switch where these ones go. I'll move them. So I really am liking the way this is coming together. And I know that y'all will take more care and time as y'all work on your mood boards, but all right. I'm just going to move that and align that there. Oops. Okay, move this one, align that in center, align that with the center. All right. Now, the image that we didn't look at, the one that I said we'd get back to, this one here, I'm going to select this one, copy it, go over to mood board, and I'm going to paste it. And you see that it pasted over everything. And you're like, oh no, what am I going to do? So first what I want to do, I'll leave it over top, and I'm going to transform it. I want to use this as my background, so I'm going to have it overlap off the edge a little bit here. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger, like that, and maybe I'll center it. So again, my pink line is helping me center everything. And I'll hit Enter to transform that like that. Now I want this to be behind everything. So I'm going to move it back behind under all of my layers, but before the background. The next thing that I want to do, I can use my little eyedropper tool, and I can snag colors. And the reason this is important is I want to snag something that's kind of charcoaly or something like that. And I'll go and grab my paint bucket tool. So when I use my eyedropper tool, I'm selecting something from an image and it's appearing over here. And if I grab my paint bucket tool and I select my background, I can drop that color completely across the background. Now, some of these images I feel like are a little bit too big. So I'm going to just kind of transform them a little bit. Give them some, oops, oh no. There we go. And transform this. Oops, I forgot to hit Enter. Hit Enter. This one, it seems like they don't have enough breathing room, so I'm just going to manipulate it a little bit like so. All right. Next thing that I want to do, I just want to make sure the mood's consistent throughout the whole selection. And you can kind of see this one, the background of it is like a little bit off for this darker mood that I'm going for. So I'm going to select that. And you can see that it's selected with the layer. Another way you can look at it is this eye. If you click it, it'll disappear and reappear. So I just want to make sure that that's selected. And I'm going to go up here to image. I'm going to click adjustments. And we can play with the brightness or contrast. We can change with exposure. We can look at vibrance, hue, saturation, color balance. I want y'all to explore these on your own. We're going to look at a couple of them. So if I'm going to look at hue and saturation, I think I want to maybe saturate this a little more, but I want to darken the image slightly so it's still kind of in the mood. And I'm using my arrow keys to, like my up and down arrow keys to adjust. And to see the before and after, if I click my preview button, you'll see the before and the after. So you can see it's a little bit darker and fits a little bit more with the mood. So I'll hit OK. Then I'll go back, image, adjustments, and I'll go to brightness and contrast. I think I'm going to add a little bit of contrast in this image, and I'm going to key down the brightness some. And again, I can click my preview button to see the before and the after. So this looks pretty cohesive now. It's making sense. And I think that I'm ready to save it. Oh, actually, sorry. Before that, what we're going to do, so I'm still working with this fist image here. And I'm going to go over to right above where my layers are, and you'll see a drop down here. And these are different kind of ways to play with your image. So see what happens, play with it, see, what works for you. I'm just going to leave it on normal. And I'm going to go over here to opacity, and I'm going to key it down to maybe 90%. So the background, you can see through it. And I'm going to do this with maybe this death mask. I'll do it too. So I'll drop this to about 90%, maybe a little less. This one, I guess it's about 83, but now it looks nice. This one here, the bangle, let's change its opacity. Yeah, like that. This figure here, we can change the opacity. That one's about 90. This figure here will go to about 90. And then lastly, this figure here, we'll drop this down. All right. So I think that looks pretty good. And last but not least, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to File, Save. This newer version of Photoshop, it'll pop up and ask you to save to the cloud. Please don't do that. I want you to save on your computer. That's the bottom left-hand corner. And I'm in my mood board demo folder, and I'm going to name it the way that I've asked y'all to name it. So it's going to be your first initial, so A period last name period project mood board period, and then the year 2026. Cool. The last thing is you save as file type. Please save it as a Photoshop file or a PSD file. That means that it's saving all of the Photoshop information so it can be edited later on. And select that. And since this is a copy, I'm gonna just boom, save as a copy. Hit enter, and now it's saved. So if y'all are working on this and have questions or need anything, please let me know. Please reach out, send me an email, and we can chat about it and get you going. So I hope that that was helpful, and I'm excited to see what you make.